Hello, soul travelers, and welcome back to our YouTube channel, The Circle of the Invisible Flame. We continue our series on religion and discernment and disclosure, actually. It's religion and disclosure. This is episode 4, Why Shock is a Real Threat or Risk. Before I begin, I want to state again and remind you that these messages on religion and disclosure are almost verbatim from Valir and Pleiadian emissary consciousness, and I share them here with you for reflection and thoughtful discussion. Which means I really do and would love your comments that we can share in. And if you need a response, I will respond to them. In the previous episodes, we explored the hijack pattern and the 2 emotional traps that can activate during disclosure. Today, we'll address something deeper. Why is destabilization a concern or a real concern? From this perspective, the danger is not information. The danger is shock. When a person's worldview of, the worldview, I just said which view, shifts too quickly, the nervous system doesn't integrate it calmly. It reacts in shock. And shock can look like fear, anger, ridicule, a joke, and it can even look like fanaticism or blind devotion. And this is why, for those of you that are like me that keep saying, why is this taking so long? Why doesn't it just happen and we get it over with? Well, because underneath it all is the same thing. Identity I have such a hard time with that word. Destabilization. Identity destabilization. If we go too fast, instead of helping, it brings down our frequency. Religion has functioned as a psychological load-bearing wall for billions of people, and that's perfectly okay. It provides orientation, moral, cosmic, and relational. If that wall is shaken abruptly, the human psyche can experience something similar to grief, the death of something. Not because God disappears, but because certainty collapses. And when certainty collapses too fast, people grasp for replacement certainty. And history shows what often fills the vacuum: extremism, charismatic capture, scapegoating, authoritarian assurance. Shock narrows perception, and narrow perception is easier to steer. This is why destabilization is delicate and why it cannot be so fast. Not because humans are weak, but because humans are deeply meaning-oriented. We need frameworks. We need coherence. We need to feel that reality is intelligible. Disclosure challenges the idea of a closed cosmos. And when the cosmos opens, theology stretches. If the divine was imagined as ruling a single isolated planet, a populated universe can feel threatening. And we see this. We hear it through our governments. But here is the stabilizing truth offered in this message. A larger cosmos does not remove God. It expands him. And it expands the scale of creation. Shock becomes destabilizing only when inner anchoring is weak. When authority has already been externalized, you've given it to somebody else, any new external force feels like a takeover. But when inner communion is strong, expansion feels like growth, not invasion. The solution to destabilization is not suppression of information. It is preparation of the heart. Preparation looks like strengthening your discernment, practicing stillness through meditation, yoga, becoming comfortable with mystery. You don't need to know it all just right now. And separating identity from inherited certainty. You are not the traditions that you practiced at home. A mature faith can survive expansion. An inherited certainty often can't. So perhaps the question is not how do we avoid destabilization, but rather how do we mature fast enough to meet expansion without panic? The answer actually is pretty simple. Presence. When you know how to return to presence, shock loses its power because the anchor is already within you. It's inside of you. And that is how disclosure becomes integration instead of fracture. And I will let you ponder on that. I am Simera'Kai. And I leave you with light, love, and peace. Until our next chat.